Hello, everyone. This is Sean 71986. I hope you're having a fantastic Monday. First Monday of 2026, and also Happy Black Monday. So, yeah, with the whole shit that's it's Black Monday, my favorite holiday. The day where, after the season's over, coaches start getting fired. I did a short last night talking about Raheem Morris and the GM for that the Atlanta Falcons fired Raheem Morris and the GM after the Falcons defeated the Saints, which then helped Carolina get into the playoffs, while also did not help the Buccaneers get eliminated from the playoffs. But now this is what's happening when I was at work, and now we're gonna go through all these. We have so many head coaches. We have some head coaches gotten fired, and I feel like this is going to be pretty interesting to see how that plays out. Because there were some coaches that I thought might get fired, got their job safe. One of them being Mike McDaniels. His job is safe for now. So. Yeah, this is a make or break moment for Blood. So if I don't know, but if the Dolphins fuck up next season, I think he's got out the damn door. I know it, you know it, everybody knows it. So let's get to it. I'm reading this from Yahoo Sports. 2026 coaching news. Mike McDaniel's job reportedly safe with the Dolphins. Jonathan Gannon, Pete Carroll, Kevin Stefanski, Raheem Morris fired as Cardinals, Raiders, Browns, and Falcons make changes. The NFL regular season has drawn to a close. Black Sunday and Monday were upon us, as well as to find out which coaches won't be back for the 2026 season. The first victims of the week were the Atlanta Falcons head coach Raheem Morris and general manager Terry Fernand, who were both fired on Sunday after the Falcons finished the season 8-9. Former Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan also could be returning to the organization in a new role as president of football. On Monday, which is today, the Browns parted ways with head coach Kevin Stefanski. 2 hours after Stefanski was let go, the Raiders parted ways with coach Pete Carroll after one season. Not long after that, it was reported that the Arizona Cardinals were parting ways with Jonathan Gannon, following his third straight losing season. Two head coaches, the Tennessee Titans' Brian Callahan and the New York Giants' Brian Daboll lost their jobs during the season. Another whose status may have been in question, Indianapolis Shane Steins, is reported to return next season, along with general manager Chris Ballard. The Cincinnati Bengals answered a similar question today, announcing the return of head coach Zach Taylor and general manager Duke Tobin for another season. Among those who appeared to be safe from the latest rounds of firings is the Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel, who is expected to be back in 2026 despite the team's search for a new general manager, NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reported Monday. Here's the rundown on where the carousel currently stands, plus the latest coaching news updates. We also rank the top coaching openings from least to most attractive, and here are the top candidates to fill the market with those vacancies. Hold on now, before I go, let me double check on ESPN, because ESPN always got to drop some news. Nope, nothing yet. For now. Fired. Jonathan Gannon, Arizona Cardinals. With the team he went in 3 seasons. He went 15-36. While he was fired, Gannon was hired in part to toughen up the Arizona Cardinals defense, and that didn't really help. This season's unit was 26th in EPA per play allowed, 27th in success rate allowed, and in general hasn't taken a step forward, despite 17 of Gannon's 28 draft picks being on the side of the ball, including 6 of the 7 last spring. It's hard to say the Cardinals are demonstrably better than they were when Gannon was hired. Potential replacements: Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores, Cowboys offensive coordinator Clayton Adams, Rams defensive coordinator Chris Sula, Seahawks offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak, Browns defensive coordinator Vance Joseph, former Cowboys and Packers head coach Mike McCarthy. Pete Carroll, Las Vegas Raiders. In one season, he went 3-14 with the team. Why he was fired? Carroll was supposed to bring stability to the franchise, but it was more losing under the 74-year-old former Super Bowl winner. The Raiders beat the Kansas City Chiefs in their season finale to end a winless streak that dated to Week 6. The offseason trade for Carroll's preferred quarterback, Geno Smith, never yielded much. The offensive and special teams coordinators were both fired in November, and now there was a dispute with Max Crosby over the star pass rusher being placed on IR. None of it reflect well on Carroll, who was in over his head trying to fix up his franchise, where the rock goes much deeper and higher. Potential replacements: Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores, Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, Seahawks offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak, 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, Rams defensive coordinator Chris Shula, Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady, former Giants coach Brian Daboll, Broncos defensive coordinator Vance Joseph. Kevin Stefanski, Cleveland Browns. In 6 seasons, he went 46-58. Including the playoffs. He got one playoff win. He did get one playoff win, and that was against the Browns. He's also a two-time Coach of the Year winner. Why he was fired? The Browns suffered their 4th losing season in 6 months under Kevin Stefanski, as well as their 2nd straight year picking in the top 7 in the draft. The kind of classic Deshaun Watson trade is partially on Stefanski, who recruited him in the spring of 2022. And for all of Stefanski's offensive acumen, none of the 13 quarterbacks who started under his watch has proven to be the long-term solution. Potential replacements: Browns defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz, Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores, Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady, Broncos defensive coordinator Vance Joseph, former Cowboys and Packers head coach Mike McCarthy. Okay, even if the Browns did fire Kevin Stefanski, they still can't get any good stars up there because of that massive contract that Jimmy Haslam gave Deshaun Watson. And with that guaranteed money, they ain't going to be picking up any stars anytime soon. Unless they have to set some salary caps on some of their star players. And we all know that ain't going to fucking happen. But that's what it is. Raheem Morris, Atlanta Falcons. Record with the team: in 2 seasons, he went 16-18. Why he was fired? Morris hasn't been flat out bad. The Falcons won their final 4 games of the season, seemingly helping Morris' cause. But the Falcons regressed overall this season, and the operation fell shaky under his watch. While he ended up a fall guy alongside General Manager Terry Fournette, who saw an all-in 2025 that included trading away the team's first-round draft pick next spring. Morris didn't always build the strongest case for himself. The Falcons now look like they will completely revamp their football operations department, with former quarterback Matty Ice, poised to come in as the Atlanta's new president of football. Potential replacements: former Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski, Seahawks offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak, Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady, Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur, Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores, former Cowboys and Packers head coach Mike McCarthy. Okay, it's funny how they fire. I have to say, it's funny how the Falcons fire Raheem Morris and the GM. But they didn't fire the offensive coordinator, who's been running nothing but fucking pistol formation through the remainder of this season, for the remainder of 2 seasons. So how the fuck is those 2 are gone, but yet he's still there? Don't make no goddamn sense, man. Don't make no goddamn sense. But, Brian Daboll, New York Giants. For 3 full seasons and 10 games, he went 21, 41, and 1. 21 wins, 41 losses, 1 tie. Why he was fired? Daboll won Coach of the Year in his first season in charge, leading the Giants to a playoff win behind Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. But injuries and underachievement dug a hole Daboll couldn't coach his way out of, and his handling of the Giants' overall operation, from game management to interfering with concussion protocol to repeatedly exposing 2025 first-round rookie quarterback Jackson Dart to extra punishment in the run game, becoming too much for the franchise to bear. Potential replacements: Former Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski, Browns defensive coordinator Vance Joseph, former Cowboys and Packers head coach Mike McCarthy, former Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce, Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, Rams defensive coordinator Chris Suler, Colts defensive coordinator Lou Amaro, and Commanders offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah. Cliff Kingsbury? Like, are we being fucking for real right now? Cliff fucking Kingsbury? You sure about that? Granted, this season with his fucking play call, he didn't do himself any goddamn favors. That play call got Jaden Daniels injured and fucked up his second year in the league because he wanted to prove, because the motherfucker wants to try to prove, like, I'm the one who was leading this Washington success. And if Cliff Kingsbury does leave our team, that means we're gonna have to find a new offensive coordinator. Hopefully, who might help us run some really damn good plays. But we'll see. Brian Callahan, Tennessee Titans. For one full season and 6 games, he went 4-19. Why is he fired? Callahan was more successful at drawing attention to himself off the field than winning on the field. He blew up at QB Will Levis multiple times during games, admitting he didn't know a rule that cost the Titans early this season, exhortating referees and more. Despite his reputation as an offensive guru, it didn't seem like number 1 overall pick Cam Ward was making much progress under his auspices, and the Titans decided to admit their mistake and cut bait. Potential replacements: former Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski, former Falcons head coach Raheem Morris, Colts defensive coordinator Lou Amaro, Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, Broncos defensive coordinator Vance Joseph, Chiefs offensive coordinator Matt Nagy, 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, Commanders offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury. And those are the coaches that were fired. Here are some coaches that are on the hot seat. Coaches that are on the hot seat right now. And all right, it's good. Oh, 3, well, better than nothing. John Harbaugh, Baltimore Ravens. In 18 seasons, he has a record of 193 wins, 124 losses, including playoffs. While he might get fired, the Ravens were surprisingly mediocre this year, and it can't all be attributed to Lamar Jackson's injuries. Their defense yo-yo between outright bad and competent, and some of Harbaugh's in-game decisions have drawn scrutiny. Harbaugh has failed to get back to the Super Bowl with a 2-time MVP quarterback in Jackson, and there's a great sense that a breath of fresh air at the head coach might be good for the Ravens. While he might be safe, this is only Harbaugh's 3rd losing season, and the stability he brings to the organization is valuable. If he's not back, it won't be because he became a bad coach overnight. That is true. After all, this is only his 3rd losing season. If he suffers a 4th losing season, then yeah, he might get his walking papers. So he better pray to God that it doesn't happen next season. Todd Bowles, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In his 4th season, he went 36-36, and that's including the playoffs. Why he might get fired? Despite winning Saturday against the Panthers, the Saints' defeat Sunday blocked the Bucs from the postseason. Entering Week 18, Todd Bowles' Buccaneers lost 7 of 8. The downturn came as they got healthier, which was confusing. There were some bad losses, and for a coach without a great career record, maybe there isn't a reason to believe things will be decidedly better in the 2026 season. Why he might be safe. Todd Bowles was on the verge of his 4th straight division title, a bet in a mediocre NFC South. This is the first time in Bowles' run with Tampa Bay that the Bucs haven't made the postseason. Yeah, there's that. Mike McDaniels, the Miami Dolphins. In his 4th season, his record with the team, 35 wins, 35 losses, and that's including the playoffs. Why he might get fired? The story of the McDaniels era so far is starting with a bang and peter it out, both in the micro and macro. He made the playoffs his first 2 seasons, including the hollow 70-burger against the Broncos, but lost 6 of the last 7 in 2022 and 4 of the last 6 in 2023. Since then, his motion-heavy, speed-oriented offense has been less effective against the league as a whole, and off-the-field issues, including players reportedly running out defensive coordinator Vic Fangio, who won a Super Bowl with the Eagles last season, suggests McDaniel doesn't have much command in the locker room. Why he might be safe. Tua Tagovailoa, or as people like to call it, Tua turned the ball over, limitations and concussive concerns have limited the Dolphins. And if they don't bring him back next season, the salary cap hit would be so big that team owner Stephen Ross might decide that it's worth keeping McDaniels around one more year to get out from under him. Yeah. Bengals Zach Taylor announced entire coaching staff will return. The Cincinnati Bengals head coach Zach Taylor was not among the 4 coaches fired on Sunday and Monday, creating 6 openings thus far. Team owner and team president Mike Brown announced that Zach Taylor and director of player personnel Duke Tobin will retain their jobs. With his job for the next season seemingly secure, Taylor told reporters, including WLWT's Charlie Clifford, covering the team, that he'll bring back his entire coaching staff. That includes offensive coordinator Dan Pitcher, whose unit ranked number 17th among NFL teams in total offense. However, quarterback Joe Burrow was limited to 8 games this season due to a toe turf injury. Defensive coordinator Al Golden will also return, despite the Bengals finishing with the second worst defense in the NFL, allowing 381 yards per game, 6,475 yards in total. So, yeah, this is gonna be one of those games. This is gonna be one of those. Okay, now it's like the whole wait and see kind of thing. And honestly, we'll definitely see how well this plays out for all these teams. So hopefully these teams who are in the market for a head coach, they better hope they get themselves a team. They find themselves a really good head coach that helps their team manage to make it to the playoffs or make it to the Super Bowl. The only thing they have to do is have to build it. They got to make sure that the roster is up to snuff, so that way it can be ready to compete for the long haul. But that's just my 2 cents on the whole thing. But let me know what y'all think, okay? As always, be sure to leave a comment, like this video, subscribe to this channel, don't forget to buzz up with our updates, share with friends, share with neighbors, share with others, and that's about it. Until next time, this is Sean 71986 signing off. Thank you for watching this video. Really means a lot. I'll see you in the next one. Catch you later. Bye-bye! God, I love Black Monday. It's one of my favorite holidays. What? I really do like Black Monday. It's my thing. You know.